Have you ever heard of the LEGO Ninjago trading cards? Because most people have not. There are so many different ways that LEGO has made their products for Ninjago, and the trading cards are really cool. Arguably one of the best products ever. Not only are they actually able to be traded for and there are packs, but you can also play a really fun game with them. And today, I'm going to show you how you can play the game. So, in order to play, you need a lot of cards. And these cards usually come from Ninjago magazines in mostly Europe, since it's not available here in US. And it's not in English anymore because like the game is extremely unfair and it's super luck based. So, usually you need to go get a crap ton of packs. The way you play is that you have a 4x4 board set up. Now, I usually just use some Minecraft cards that also exist, which are also pretty cool. And I set up a board where the way you win is that if you manage to capture all of the squares, if you manage to capture more squares than your opponent, when all of the squares are taken up, then you win. The way the game works is that you have an action card, a character card, a trap card, and a vehicle card. The character card is the simplest one. On the character card are four values, one for each side. You place down the card on the side facing you, and that way, and then your opponent, if they want to fight your card, they will place down a card adjacent, and let's say they place it yellow on yellow. Then if their yellow is higher than yours, then they win and they flip yours over. Then you can come and like place another card down on your turn and win that card you just lost back, for example. That action cards are a little bit more complex. What they do is that they make the game a bit more interesting. They make it so that basically it's got a bunch of text on it, and whatever the text says, you can use that action card and it will do whatever it says. For example, a card may say something like draw 7 cards. It's not going to say that because that's way too OP. But like um it's going to be something like it's going to be something a bit more like draw 3 cards or flip some cards over. And then you can place that card down, and then, well, you do whatever it says. And then also, and you can only use one action card every turn. So the order you place down all your cards is simple. You first place down your action card, then you place down your vehicle card, which you don't have to place down every turn. Then you place down your character card, and then your trap card, and then you can discard. You don't need to place down all of the cards at once. Or, I mean, like, by that, I mean, like, you don't need to place down one character, one action, one trap, one vehicle every single turn. You can, like, not place down a trap, or not place down an action, or not place down a character, or not discard. Trap cards are a bit different. They're very interesting because they have a text that can be either good or bad, which you can then place on the board and cover it up. That way your opponent has no idea what it is. And if it's like a good trap, then you can go on it and get that buff. Or if it's a debuff, then your opponent can go on it and then they get that debuff and then they can hopefully lose the game. Vehicle cards are probably the more complex ones. What they do, they have two effects. They have two numbers here that boost your card stats. Usually it's like plus 25, plus 50 at max. And they also have a little text. For example, one of them may say that whenever your opponent defeats more than 2 cards at once in their turn, then they all come down come to your discard pile. Or they can be like draw an extra for every card you discard. It can very much so range in overpoweredness. At the end of your turn, you can discard your cards that you don't want. Let's because you start the game off of 7 cards, right? Let's say you place down free, you use free cards, right? And then you discard 2 cards, right? So now you've used up a total of 5 cards in your turn. Since you've used up 5 cards, you can pick up 5 cards after that. So that way, any cards you don't want, you can just discard and get hopefully better cards at the end. The way the game works is that you can you start off with 7 cards, and um basically there are some action cards that make it so you can pull more cards at once and have more cards in your hand. But for the most part, you don't really have much. You only have your 7. Once you have your 7, you can discard them and put them in your discard pile and pick up more at the end of your turn. And only at the end of your turn when you've done everything else. An additional extra fact is that, let's say you have this Garmadon card here that I flipped over, right? And that your opponent defeated it, but you gained it back, and now you want to gain your opponent's card, but you have no way of gaining it. You can tap on your card to fight the opponents. That way, you can just fight them without having to place a new card. Now, these cards are for the most part in English, so I do recommend having to use something like Google Translate or something like that. Or not in English, sorry. In German or in any other language, could be in Czech or way more different languages. And you can just go and translate in Google Translate and figure out what it's saying, because I don't really know the language. I only know English. This game can usually take anywhere between an hour and like forever, because there are some cards that completely restart the game. Honestly, the game is really fun, and I would love to show you how to play, but I have no friends, so I can't show you. So it is a fun game. So as I said before, to recap, you basically have 7 cards in your hand in a 4x4 arena, where you place down your action card first, then your vehicle, then your character, then your trap, then you discard. And the way you win is having more cards flip to your side, facing you, than your opponent when all the slots are filled up. And you also can discard as many cards as you want at the end of your turn and pick up all of the cards until you're at your maximum. Now, a lot of the character cards can really range in terms of power. They could have like 25 as low as their power, or like 150. It really depends on how lucky you get with the card pulls, and hopefully you get something really OP and you can crush everyone. The annoying thing about these card packs for now is that they're so expensive now. Like, you just can't buy bulk. I remember buying like 100 packs for like $20 now. But like, you can't do that anymore because they're just so expensive. Well, that is all for this week's video. I hope you finally learned how to play a Ninjago trading card game, because it is actually pretty fun. Like, I actually play it regularly, even though it is extremely unfair and super luck-based. But it is a fun game, and I hope you have fun playing it too, because it is super cool. That is all for this week's video. Goodbye!